Welcome back to Real Estate Essentials. Let me ask you a question. If you had a really high-end piece of art and you wanted to sell it, what would you do? Well, you'd take it to Christie's and get it auctioned, right, for the highest bidder. Well, what if you own a really high-end piece of property, like real estate? What would you do with it? Why wouldn't you treat it that same way? I've actually got Dean here with US Luxury Group, so welcome to the show, Dean.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks for having me on.
So now tell me a little bit about what you guys do.
The problem with high-end luxury real estate in this market, or any market across the U.S., what happens is these sellers, they list their home with the agents. The agents go out and do the best job that they can, but these homes, it's a soft market. And so these homes, it takes a very unique buyer to purchase those homes.
And there's only so many of them, right?
Exactly. And so these homes sit on the market for months, if not years, with very little traction and very little interest in the homes.
And so the sellers have no choice but to drive the price down to try and catch up with it, right?
That's exactly right. So what happens is these poor sellers are sitting there with heavy costs to carry, and they just have to keep reducing and then reducing
until they finally give it away.
Until they finally give it away.
And so now what is your process? What do you guys do?
What we do here at US Luxury Group is we partner up with the agents and the seller. We go out and we do an accelerated marketing program on the home, nationwide and also locally. And we go out and we find those qualified buyers and we bring them to the table.
You kind of through a bunch of marketing, get them all interested in the property, and
that is correct. Now, the nice thing also is we have open houses that we run 3 consecutive weekends in a row, and then a final preview on the Friday before the auction. That gives us
So you actually auction off these homes then?
We auction off the home. It's going to sell to the highest bidder.
Are these distressed properties, or what are they?
Absolutely not distressed. These are simply sellers that want to move on with their life. They've had enough. They've tried the traditional real estate. It didn't work for what they wanted, and they just
didn't work quick enough.
It worked quick enough.
Effectively.
And so they just want to sell the house and move on. They want to go to the next part of their life.
And so when you sell these things, what if they don't, is like a reserve on these things, or what is it?
It's not a reserve, it's an absolute auction, so it's going to be sold to the highest bidder on the day of the auction.
Really? And so it's just absolute, like that's it, that day it is?
That's it, that day.
Wow, spectacular. Well, we're in an absolutely spectacular home, Dean. Why don't you walk us through this thing? Let's take a look at it.
You got it.
So this is the house that they're going to auction off, and some of you may recognize this home because it was featured on HGTV's $1 Million Room.
Already a popular house.
Yeah, the seller actually spent $1.8 million creating this inside, just absolute incredible piece of work, really.
When you took me through this house, it was one of the most amazing homes I have ever seen. There were so many unique properties to this house.
Yeah, it's unlike any other house I've ever seen. And as you approach the front door right here and it opens up, just steps off of that opening door, you look over and this is what you're going to see.
Beautiful swimming pool, right there in the house.
And in Utah, where else would you want a pool? Because usually you can only use a pool in this climate, you know, a couple months out of the year. Well, this one, because the way they built it inside and put the dehumidifiers in there, this literally is your own hotel or resort, which is incredible.
You can see both of those staircases going down right to the pool.
Yeah, 10 feet deep, and it's one of those really nice saltwater pools, so it doesn't hurt your eyes. And you can see they just created these nice little seating areas with that fireplace that looks through into the hot tub area.
That hot tub, when I first saw it, I thought it was a lazy river.
It looks
so
like
big.
That, huh?
Yeah.
And they have all these beautiful bedrooms off it. The master suite, which we're going to go to in just a few minutes, is just absolutely incredible.
So this seller of this home, I don't know much about him.
He actually was a commercial contractor, and so he had the crew and everything to put this whole thing together. He's kind of the guy, you know, if T-Mobile goes in and wants to change out all their design, you know, they'll close like on a Friday and then open up the next day and it's all put in place. He's the guy that goes in there and does all this stuff.
Oh, no wonder his house is remodeled so beautifully.
Yeah, so we're headed now into the master bedroom, which you can see is just the way it should be, which is a true master suite. And the French doors literally open out and to overlook that whole, the beautiful pool. That tub right there, there's a funny story with that. The original price tag on that tub was $6,000, but by the time that he got it in there and put the surround on it, it was actually $20,000 just for the tub.
Just for the tub, yeah. Wow.
And as you can see, we spared no expense in all these other areas.
There's that tub again.
So as you can see, those French doors, and here we're going into the kitchen. And how are you going to have an incredible home without an incredible kitchen? Well, they got that covered too, didn't they?
Great space. Look at that stove, the range.
Just absolutely beautiful with all those pendant lights, and it's a surprisingly large kitchen.
The home to me felt like a resort.
So we're headed down into the game room, and it's set up just the way it should be, with all the jerseys on the wall and all your TVs set up on different channels so you can watch all the games and just enjoy and play a little pool at the same time. And so this house is going to be auctioned off on September 14th at 11 o'clock. But that's it. Auction. They're going to hit the gavel and it's going to be done. And so they'll be doing open houses every Saturday and Sunday between 1 and 4 o'clock. And so open to the general public. So if you want to come by, because the pictures really don't do this justice, you really need to see this home in person. You can just come by and register right at the door, and feel free. You can go look at the car barn with the 30 cars in there. Well, they can fit like 30 cars in there. But they are going to do one last showing on the Friday before, which will be on the 13th, between 4 and 8 o'clock. So it's every Saturday and Sunday, except for that Friday before. And then auction is September 14th at 11 o'clock.
And that Friday open house is open to the public, right?
All of them are. Even the auction's open to the
fantastic.
public. Well, I tell you what, let's go meet with the seller and hear a story on this incredible home.